Hey yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, and I got some news. I've gotten almost all the components for my computer. Apparently, when I ordered it, I did not get a CPU fan, so in the past, that used to come with the CPU, or at least in some cases, I guess. Maybe it was AMD or something like that, which is what I've usually used, but I switched to the Intel i7. So anyway, this right here is the new case. So it's completely bare bone right now, has nothing in it. But I was just going to point out some things to you about it. So up here on top we have a SATA docking area where we can just pull this little guy up and like that. And right here we can just put a hard drive directly in there. So you can actually have a quick plug-in hard drive and take it back out when you're done or whatever. However, you want to make sure either the computer's off or for sure that the hard drive's not being used when you plug it in or take it out. Actually, I don't know if you can plug in it. We'll have to try that. Then right here we have the face of it. We have a turbo silence. This is for fans, so like if I know I'm going to be doing some heavy gaming or whatever, I can turn on the turbo and force the fans to run higher, or I can leave it on silence, which will force them to not run as high. Now they still will be running and stuff, just not as high. Right over here we have our reset button, and we also have our hard drive light. You can't really see them because they're just teeny. We have our power button right here. We have USB 2.0 slots right here, microphone, speaker, and then we have our USB 3.0 on this side. Then if we move the camera down, alright, there we go. Let's see if I can line this up just a little bit so it's straight. So in the front we have a bay door right here that opens up so that we can actually clean dust that gathers from the fan. So it has this little mesh screen. Can you see that? Right here. So we can remove that, clean that up so dust doesn't gather. And then we also have 3 bays right here for like CD-ROMs or external other type things. All you do is pinch on the 2 sides right here where my fingers are, and you can pop those right out. And then also you can clean those if any dirt and debris starts gathering in those. So that is basically the front of it. Now, could you actually see this one? I didn't look. Yeah. So nothing real special there. That behind here is 2 fans, just for cooling. Put that back, pop it into place. So let's go ahead and flip it here to the side and do like so. Can you see that okay? Yeah, there's not much to see on the inside. So if we go all the way around to the back, you see we have these little dust protectors, so you can actually run wires through the system and have a minimal dust going into the system. We also have thumb screws for making the removal of the side panels much easier. So we just unscrew that, and then one down here. You can't see the one down here. I'm not going to move the camera just to show you a thumb screw. But if we do that, take those 2 guys out, turn to the side, we slide that back just a 1/4 of an inch, and then you can take off the side panel. And you can see inside. So we have all our different cabling. We have our slots for our CD-ROMs, other peripherals and stuff like that. This top one right here, can you see that? No, you can't see that. So the top one right here is actually for something that does not protrude out the front, but then these other 3 actually are these 3 right here. So this would be, you know, maybe something small that actually plugs in from the back. So there's that. We have all our cabling for all our different things. We have right down here, we have spots for our hard drives, and it looks like it could actually handle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is number 9. So all you do is you line your hard drive up so it goes into the little slots there. And then you just pop it right back in. You open up the other side to actually connect your wiring for the hard drive. Then you just put that right there and click it in. Love new cases. Back in the day, everything was screw and it was such a pain. Down here in the bottom, over there, is where the power supply goes. It has a fan here, has one on top, has a fan here. Now this will be nice because this fan actually will help pull air from the front fan. Oh, you can't see that now. So over here we have our 2 fans in the front for pulling air into the system. This one will actually help pull it, and if we put our hard drives here, it'll actually help keep those hard drives nice and cool. So it'll actually pull the air through there, over the motherboard, and out the back, like it's supposed to, and out the top, because heat rises, right? So anyway, that is kind of the case. I don't know what else we need. You can see over here, you can also have thumb screws just for undoing your plates in the back. So that's really cool. On the bottom it also, you can see right here, you can see that it also has little meshes here that you can easily take out for cleaning dust out of the system, which is good because this house is always really dusty. Alright, so in order to build a computer, the main tool you're going to need is something like this guy right here, which is just a multi-tool. So it actually has a large Phillips head, a small Phillips head. Also, you won't really need that nowadays for computers because you have lots of thumb screws and stuff. But you can pop that in there. And of course you have this side, which has a large standard head and a small standard head. And then once again you have another socket type right there. So you can just put that in like that. The other thing we're going to need is your system board will actually hook into the case using little special guys, riser screws, I guess maybe what we'll call them. So basically this is what, because this is metal and the bottom of the motherboard has little metal contacts or all the soldering points and stuff. And that would be bad. So you have these guys which screw into these little holes. Can you see them all over the place? And actually rise the motherboard above. So generally you can get a special tool, a little tiny socket for these, or you can just do them thumb tight and then use something like some needle nose pliers to get it the rest of the way. So let's put this guy back in the sack here. Whoop. Or drop it on the floor. Whichever one's easier. There we go, we got it. Hold on just a second while I put this guy back in. And usually there's some extra ones. So, very important is to always take your inventory. You know, this is the bag that came with the system tower case. And it's very good to make sure you actually have the parts it says you're supposed to have. So we're going to put that back in there. And the last thing I use, well, sometimes I use a marker, especially for the motherboard, because you might want to mark through the motherboard where the actual risers will be. So you just push it through the hole and it'll put a little black on there. And then the other thing you need is a nice thing for opening boxes and breaking wrap. Alright, so that's basically the tower. So this is kind of going to work as an unboxing because as we put this system together we have to unbox the things. Now almost everything going in here is new except for a couple components. My hard drives I already have, other than I got one extra, and we'll talk about that. Sorry about that. Also my CD-ROM, or well, I guess it's a DVD burner that I have, and I also have a blu-ray player. So those are actually going to be pulled from my old system. Pretty much everything else will be new from this system. And I'm hoping that we'll go over kind of on some of the components, maybe talk a little about what they do and stuff for the computer to make it so you're comfortable in the future of building your own system, because it's really not that hard. Now, I will give you fair warning, building your own system usually costs quite a bit more than if you were to buy a pre-built system, say from Dell or something like that. And the reason for that is because when you build your own system, you're putting in quality parts, where you know exactly what's going in there. You're going to get a good video card. You're not going to get trash, right? Where if you buy a pre-built system, generally the reason they're so low priced is because the manufacturer is kind of having a bidding war, or allowing companies to say, hey, use my CD-ROM, I'll give you 100 of them for, you know, $5,000 or something like that. I don't know, something along those lines. So anyways, in this case, you know what you're putting in there, so it's usually higher quality, so the price is actually quite a bit more. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tip this on its side, try and get the camera so we can see pretty good. It's going to be kind of tough, but we'll go to that point and see what we can do. So I will see you guys in a minute. Okay, I think this is a pretty good angle. We're going to move all these wires and stuff just so they're out of the way. Alright, so the next thing we have is our motherboard. As you can see, oops, I can't really set it where you can see it very good. Wait, over here. There, well, that'll work. So as you can see, we have an ASUS motherboard X99 Deluxe 5-way optimization, yada yada yada. We're going to go ahead and line this up and see how it can fit in here. Alright, so grab this guy out. Now, like I said, due to the fact that I didn't get a CPU fan for this, we will not turn this on because the CPU would pretty much melt right through the motherboard. So as you can see here, we have the motherboard. Here's the back of it. We have lots of USB 3.0, I believe those ones are. Actually, a lot of USB 3.0, 2.0. We got dual NICs. Right here we have our sound, and this is that digital audio? Maybe. No, oh, that's Wi-Fi, isn't it? Those are Wi-Fi connectors, I believe. Actually, I think if we go right here, this will tell us everything. USB 3.0. Sure enough. Why has it got 3 of them though? I wonder. Does this actually have an antenna? Lots and lots of stuff with this bad boy. Paper. So anyway, here's the motherboard. So as you can see, wait a minute. Oh no, we're okay. So as you can see, it's very cool looking. It's got a heatsink inside here, heatsink here, heatsink here, heatsink here, heatsinks all over the place. We actually have a power and reset. That's new. As well as this tiny little LED right here. We have some switches, which is something I haven't seen in computers for a long time. You can see over here, flip it this way, we have all our slots. I kind of like that they're actually angled that way. Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, we have lots of interfaces. I believe those are Firewire maybe, and then we have lots of our SATAs. Some SATA over here. This guy, can you even see? I have to look at the camera where it's seeing. So here we have all our SATA interfaces here. Right here is the main power. So from the power supply we'll go there. We have our RAM slots, and we have 4 of them, and we're going to fill every one of those up. Over on this side we have this is for all your little switches and stuff. Oh, poop. Right there. This is for all your little switches. You have for external, maybe on the case or whatever, you have USB 2, you have USB 3. You have all your different slots, PCI slots. I believe that's another PCI slot, and then here's your PCI EX4. Oh, gotta keep moving it down, sorry. So these three and this one are all PCI. This guy right here is your PCIe, your PCI Express X4. And we'll kind of cover all that. Right here's where your CPU goes. Oh, actually, you could put more RAM here. We're not actually going to max that out because I believe when you have an i7, I think you end up putting like 2 here and 2 here if I'm right. But we'll look at all that. So I probably will be looking a little bit at a manual because there's some things here. It's been a while since I built a computer. So there's some things here that are kind of new to me. But that's okay. So this is the bottom of the motherboard. As you can see, lots of soldering points, which would be very bad if they touch the metal, which is why we have the risers. Now each of these, you can see right here, these circular ones with the little dots on the edge. Over here. Oh man, it's so hard to do this. Right here, so on and so forth. Those are for your risers. And you can also see those on this side where it has the little dots. So what we do is we kind of line up our motherboard where it needs to go in here. Oops, it's got to go this way. And that lines it up here. How do we get you out of the way? Let's put you over here. And you over here, hopefully. So the motherboard's going to sit basically just like that, and we'll have our little template slot in there. So what we want to do is kind of move the motherboard to where we see our little slots, or the tiny little guys there. And this is where I usually use my pen, or my marker, is to mark each of these little holes so I know where they are. And hopefully it'll actually go all the way down. I can't tell if this one is or not. Other words, you kind of have to slide it. Did you actually? I don't see that it actually did. But it looks like this one doesn't have too many. So it's actually this one, and this one. So in this case, we get to do a trial and error. So we're gonna make sure we get this lined up again. And we got that one, and that one. So we're gonna tip that up nice and gently like so. And we're gonna grab some of our little riser nuts. And let's see. We're gonna grab 3 of them. There's 1 and a 2. And where are you at? Number 3. And we're going to go ahead and just, can you see even where I was? I think you can, right? Right here? Yeah, you can see that. So we're just going to screw these in. Right now we're just doing it hand tight. Usually hand tight is actually good enough. I mean, you're not really going to get much more of a turn by doing them tighter with something else. But I was just showing you. So there's those 3. Then it looks like if we come back, now we can see that it sits on those 3 perfect. Then we have up at the top, we have one right there and one right there. So we need 2 more. This time we're going to move our board down a little. Can you see up there? Yeah, you should be able to see up there. So it looks like, come on. Let's do it like that. Oh wait, here we go. We can plug you right through. Well, kind of. Right through there. Okay, that'll get it out of the way. So let's grab a couple more. So let's go in here and we need, this was 3 more. And let me grab those. 1, Now I don't know if I said it before because I might append something to the front of this, but actually last weekend I was incredibly sick. So we're going to reline this up, just make sure we get all of them, put those on top of those, make sure they're lined up. And we got one there, and one there. So now we're going to put this guy right here. And I think it was this one. And maybe this one. So let's line those up, just see if they all line up okay. Da-da-da. Perfect. Then we have our final three right here, and right here. Now it looks like this one did not line up. Well, maybe it did. So it's that one, and that one. So now we have our final three, which is going to be this guy right here, this guy, and this guy. So let's take this and set it on its static wrap. And we're going to set it over here. And we're going to get our final three. And they actually left us one extra. Oh, well, look at this. They actually did give us something so that because that's kind of a hard tool to find. So they actually gave us this little guy that you can put on top, and then it gives you a little thread for your screwdriver, which of course I don't have the right one. Can you see that? There, now you can see it. And like I said, they're really not going to turn much more. Let's see how much you turn. So we do that, like 1/4 of a turn. So if we take that and pop that on each of these, that'll just make it so that one turned a bit. My finger was weak on that one, I guess. Do that one. Oh, can you see that one? No, you can't see that one. Of course not. There you can. So there's that one. You should be able to see the upper ones. Yeah. Okay. It's really hard to see. Oh, that one I didn't tighten at all. And then this one. Now, not all motherboards are necessarily going to come with this little thing, but it's really nice this one did. And that one. So there's those guys. Now let's get out our final three. Oh, don't roll away. Our final three little guys right here. Oh, 1, 2, and 3. And it looks like they even gave us an extra one. So usually in parts and stuff, they try and give you an extra one in case you fat finger and drop one on the floor or lose it under something. So let's go ahead and put these 3 in. So one goes right here. Oh, maybe. One right there. And I believe this one went right there. And our final one went right there. And let's put on our little adapter and give it our final little turn. And you don't want to tighten them way too tight. I mean, you don't want to torque it on there because it's a pretty fine piece of metal and you might end up stripping out the screws. So just turn it till it fights you a little bit. It doesn't want to turn anymore. And there you go. So now we have on all our risers, I believe. Let's just make sure we have, there should be 9 on the bottom of our motherboard. So let's just double check that. Put that over there. Alright, so we've got, can I move this where you can see? We got 1 right there, 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that should be all our pieces. Alright, so let's go ahead and line it up and make sure we did good. Looks pretty darn good. Alright, so now what we do is we use the other screws, which are these bigger guys. Alright, and we're going to grab 9 of those. They should all be the same. I apologize for my sniffing, and I don't remember if I finished saying what I was saying earlier, but I have had quite the cold. It's had me in bed. In fact, I pretty much slept last weekend away, including the holiday on Monday. Okay, so now we have our 9 little screws. We're going to go ahead and I think we want the larger end. So we're going to do that, flip it over. Oh yeah, much nicer fit. So it's best to kind of hold it with your finger like this, or at least it works for me. I've got really fat fingers, so putting it down there with my hand doesn't always work for me. But if I do it with my finger just like that, kind of tip it into place, I usually do pretty good. So now I'm not going to tighten these all the way down because I might need to have, there's going to be a tiny bit of play in the motherboard. So we just want to get as far down as, we just kind of want to get placeholders right now, I guess, is what I want to say. Are you screwing in? Yeah, that's screwing in. Okay, there's that one. There's that one. And there is that one. That one's a little tough because of the fancy white junk laying all over the place. This is kind of cool. I've never seen it have a power and reset button inside the system. This one goes right here. This one goes to here. I'm so bummed I did not get my stinking that I didn't think about the CPU fan. That one goes right there. Sorry for the sound effects again. That one goes right there. And that one goes right there. Now, one other thing that these generally do for your motherboard is they actually also act as grounds. So they're using the system case as a ground. So each of these actually will work as a ground into the system case. So it's very important that you get them all in and that they fit right. So now I'm just doing a final little tighten. Once again, you don't need to torque it down, just enough to make it stay. So there we go. We now have a motherboard in our system. And we're going to go ahead and put in our template real quick. So here's the template. Let's go ahead and open you up. As you can see, oh, that's got a nice foamy type thing. It's kind of cool. Alright, so we're going to tip our system up. Like so. As you can see, everything looks nice right there. Everything looks good, and we're going to line this guy up to here, like so. And, oh, is this the kind that goes in first? I might have screwed up. This might actually be the kind that doesn't, some just snap in, This one looks like it snaps in reverse. So what I'm going to have to do is just take out the motherboard, snap this into place, and then put this guy back. Or take the motherboard out, snap this guy in, and then put the motherboard back. I'm not going to make you watch me do that. We already went over everything of lining it up and stuff. But as you can see here, when it's all done, it'll look nice like this. However, this guy's just barely even sitting there. I should have actually noted that before. I was thinking about it, but then I was like, eh. So anyway, this will tell you everything. That top one right there is the USB BIOS flashback. I have no idea what that does. Whatever it does, it's linked to that guy. We have all our sound, our LEDs. Is that LED for Wi-Fi? I don't see an LED there. Huh. Maybe they're resets or something. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually, this is probably long enough for the first video, is getting the motherboard in the system. So I think we're going to call it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and series. I'll put it, hopefully I'll remember, I'm going to put a note and say, put the template in before you do the motherboard. But anyway, hopefully you guys learned something and you like the series. If so, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, guys, comment and subscribe and tell all your friends about my channel. This is the new one. Check out my other channels. I have Taz Unplugged, and I have my regular Taz for family-friendly gaming. And until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.